So for the people that don't know, Zulu used to throw some spears, like some long spears, at the parade. So I ended up, in order to practice to act like I had a mace, I had a spear from the Zulu parade, put a tennis ball on top, taped it, and that was my mace. So I'm going up and down the house, just all right here, all this, all that, just getting ready for drum major trials. Drum major trials came, I made drum majors. I was one of the 4.
My name is Garrett White, drum major of the Southern University Human Jukebox. Welcome to Drum Major Talk. Today we have a very, very special guest who you probably are not used to seeing. I know him as G, but the world knows him otherwise, so I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
What's up, y'all? Well, you know me. Y'all don't, if you know me, you know me. If you don't, you don't. I'm Garrett Edgerson, the media director for the Southern University Human Jukebox, also known as the Edge One. So there you go.
Now, that's usually not how we greet each other, so it's only right that we show them how we do it.
Yes, sir.
That's how we do it.
Yes,
that's
sir.
how we do it. So before we really just get into it all, I think one of the biggest things that everybody everywhere is probably wondering is what made you pick up a camera to begin with?
Oh man, what made me pick up a camera? So I'm a band head. Born and raised in New Orleans, band is life in the city. Gotcha. So I stayed in the 7th Ward, so you had St. Aug this way, John Mack this way, 3-5 that way. And it's just, I used to sit on the steps and you could hear St. Aug clearly at practice, like clear as day at practice. And this band it did something to me. It did something to me. So I admire you just because I always wanted to be a drum major. Let me make that more specific. I wanted to be a St. Aug drum major.
Gotcha.
I always wanted to be a St. Aug drum. Although that didn't happen, I always wanted to be a drum major because it was the best thing in life. It's still the best thing in life.
Right.
You got the power, it's the look, it's just everything about it. I always wanted to be a drum major. I was actually a drum major in middle school, but I'm gonna get to that. But yeah, like I said, I heard St. Aug, you heard 3-5, you heard John Mack, and it's just, man, band got to me. The only caveat is I didn't want to play an instrument. I wanted to play the snare. I suck on the snare. I suck. Suck. So that didn't happen. So it was just like, well, I don't know what else I want to do. So push come to shove, I got to middle school. Flag football was, if you see me in person, you see how big I am. I'm 6'3", 330 right now. So I was always that big, so it was always a given, I'm gonna play football. So middle school, we didn't have tackle, so we had to play flag. We're practicing in the front yard. All my third grade marshal know about the front yard in front of school. We practicing, and the band comes from down the street and marches into the band room. I'm like, I'm gonna get in the band tomorrow. I'm not playing football no more. So the next day, I went to the band director, who just so happens to be Ariel's dad, Mr. Brooks, Charlie B. He marched in this band actually. I want to be in the band. I don't know how to play an instrument, but I can march. He was like, cool, you can be on color guard. Got on color guard. Became the man on color guard on the flag. Hey, Paul, Aaron, Charles, nothing against y'all. It was me. It's all me. It was me. Got on color guard. I was the flag captain. So I was over the flags, kind of. We had the swords. I was over the entire section, but I was over the flags. That happened. Then drum major trials happened. So this is after parade season. And so for the people that don't know, Zulu used to throw some spears, like some long spears, at the parade. So I ended up, in order to practice to act like I had a mace, I had a spear from the Zulu parade, put a tennis ball on top, taped it, and that was my mace. So I'm going up and down the house, just all right here, all this, all that, just getting ready for drum major trials. Drum major trials came, I made drum majors. I was one of the 4. So, man, talk about the best year in life. My 8th grade year in school was the best. Shout out to Thurgood Marshall, everybody. I love y'all. Y'all know how we do it. And then, man, 8th grade was over. No more band at that point. You know, I'm going to St. Aug, top of the top. So you got to know how to play nothing. I didn't know how to play nothing. I was too big to be a color guard. I was real life too big to be a color guard then. Played football, and it just so happened Katrina hit. You know, we was down there. We got stuck down there. We was down there that whole week. When I went to Houston, my mom was like, hey, I don't think Houston working out for us. We're going to go to Arizona. Backtrack. My brother played basketball at the University of Arizona in Tucson. So we had a good support system in Tucson for us to move there and, you know, start our lives over again. Right. Went to Arizona. Of course, Arizona's not New Orleans.
Very far from it.
Way like left field. Like I didn't expect to see everything that was there. But anyway, far from that. So obviously, I lost a part of my growing up, which is band. So eventually, this is when we talking about 2005. YouTube just popped off. Right. Just popped off. So you ain't got much on YouTube. So back in the day, Chris know what I'm about to say. You know, we had DVDs and stuff.
Contrary to popular belief, I know about that.
That's
part of my era too.
That was the thing. You had, tapes and DVDs. During that time, it was the transition between tapes to DVDs. So in order for me to get that itch, I had to order DVDs from people. Gotcha. So I'm finding people all over the country like, hey, you got XYZ, yeah, we got that. Okay, well, I'll pay you for this, that, blah, 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 blah. So that's how I got that itch. And then, you know, bandhead.org came about, Marching Band Network, all that started to pop off. So you didn't really have to get DVDs, but I was still getting DVDs. Barry Connor, he was, not many people know him by his name, but Barry Connor recorded this band from about 2006 until 2014. If you look at any Southern Field Show videos from that time frame, you'll see Barry with his harness on, with his camera, recording on the field. Right. So I bought a lot of stuff from him. So the 06 season DVD, 07, 08, all the way up until he stopped selling it. I just remember watching these videos and seeing Barry do what he does, you know. And some of the shots that he did, we still do to this day. Okay. So my favorite shot of all time doing the field show is the cymbals, doing fast cadence. Oh, yeah. So I tell the team now, that's the shot you get. No matter what happens, that is the shot you get. So yeah, Barry became my leech that I just kept buying from, kept buying. Push come to shove, football didn't work out. I got recruited, but it just didn't happen. Scholarships didn't happen. Yeah. I ended up getting a scholarship to Northern Arizona, and my mom was like, no. We are not moving to Flagstaff. I mean, well, you're not going to Flagstaff. We moving back home. Yeah. So I graduated June 2008. We moved back home to the city. I started at Southern in August. Gotcha. I'm just on campus, you know, I'm just a regular student at this point. They was like, you want to walk on? I don't know if I want to walk on football. I want to enjoy being in college. I remember seeing the band my first year, is just like, man, you know, it'll be cool if you started recording your own videos and making your own DVDs. Ding. So 2008, 2009, it was just, okay, let me just dibble and dab. You know, I had a little poo phone. So you're trying to do stuff on that. It ain't real, like, it ain't working out. So you're just trying to do stuff like that. So push comes to shove, 2010 comes. I bought my first camera with my work study check. Okay. It was $130. It's a red Sanyo camera, my first camera. The first band thing I ever recorded was the Brandon Franklin All-Star Band. If you don't know about Brandon Franklin, look him up. But I started like that. That was the spring. Push come to shove, here comes the fall. Hey, I got my camera. I'm about to put in some work. So, there's no media pass. I'm a regular student at this point. Right. So the fifth quarter about to happen. You know how everybody likes to pile up. Mm-hmm. I was one of those people. At this time, you can get on the track though. So I was standing at that fence. 0 hits on the clock. They open the gates. You get to go on the field. You get to go on the track. So if you watch 2010, 2011, if you watch any videos of a Southern fifth quarter, when somebody's in the middle of the field, you will real life see me like this on the edge of the track in the football field. You will see me right here. This was me. This was my stance. This was my stance. Nothing, just the camera, my hand right here. You will definitely see me. So that happened 2 years, 10 and 11. Push come to shove. My boy Glenn, shout out to Glenn. He played trumpet here. Man, him and Brian Simmons said, you need to go talk to Mr. J, see if you could real life record the band. Right. Spring 2012, Pretty Wednesday. This was a Wednesday. I know this day specifically. All my old Southern people, y'all know the Q's got on the roof of the Union on this Pretty Wednesday. And at this time, I was recording Pretty Wednesdays, right, but I missed it because I had a meeting with Mr. J. So I missed that Pretty Wednesday, but it was for a more important thing. Right. Brian met me at the door. Me and Brian walked to Mr. J's office. Mr. J opens the door. Glenn is sitting there. Glenn was like, you got this, X, Y, Z. So I gave Mr. J a DVD of what I did the past 2 years, so 2010, 2011, of this band. And Mr. J was like, you in there, you can come on. So I'm like, man, hey, I'm in there. I'm happy at this. I'm ecstatic at this point. I'm like, I got to get a new camera. I got to learn some new stuff. So that's how it went all the way up to fall 2012. Then Barry reached out to me and was just like, hey, do you want to help us out this year? I'm like, hey, what I got to do? Look, what you need me to do? He was like, come on, just come on. So fall 2012, my first time getting my first pass, first time on the field, all that stuff happened in 12. And it's just like, man, from 12, 13, I'm just learning. I'm soaking up stuff from them, soaking up stuff from everybody else. All the while, I'm trying to plan out how I want to be different than everybody else. And then push comes to shove, 14 happens, Mr. J retires. Me and Mr. Hammer was cool because he was like, you do good work. Right. So when he became band director, he was like, come on. I'm like, hey, I'm there. So in 14, I became the quote unquote media director for the band. And since 14, we've been rolling ever since. It's been a train. It's been a train since 14, 15, 16. We keep rolling down the track. And I love the fact, let me back up. I hate the fact that people say this was given to me because it wasn't. I worked to be where I am. Right. I didn't have to go to Mr. J and show him this DVD of the work I did, right, but I did. I put this DVD together. Here goes my work. This is what I've been doing. Give me a chance. He did. Look where I am now. So I always look back at it like, man, look how far you've come. Like this wasn't in the cards. And my mama said it was in the cards, but I didn't believe it was in the cards, And just to be here right now is amazing. It's amazing.
I can only imagine. So, you were talking about how it's just been rolling. It's been a well-oiled machine. Yeah. I can attest to that. So much has changed from just then to now. Yeah. And just the innovative things that the media team does. So walk us through a little bit of the journey. How do you come up with these new shots and new ideas and new graphics? Just, give us a little insight on that.
So I like to watch stuff. The GoPro video. The first time I put a GoPro, I was the first one. Because somebody on Instagram tried to check me and it was like, you took somebody out. No. I was the first one. But the GoPro video, I was watching the airplane video. I want to be a pilot. So I just so happened to watch an airplane video on YouTube and they had a GoPro it was in the cockpit somewhere. And I'm like, what if I put a GoPro on somebody's head and you can see them playing this horn? Right. Ding! Mr. Hammer, can I do this? Go do it. Far away video, it took off from there. We played far away, took off. These different shots, I study stuff, NFL films, MLB stuff, soccer, Formula One. I study it all. Right. And I want to mimic, you want to try to mimic as much as you can those shots because they are the standard. At the end of the day, they are the standard. So you try to take that and put it into this world. And that's what I've been doing since then. I see something, I think I'm going to try this. Yeah. Push comes to bam, there we go. There goes the shot. That's just that's it. So it's just like that. I study film. People hate to watch movies with me because I'm not real life watching the movie. To watch the movie, I'm like, that's a good shot. That shot could have been better. This shot was at noon. This shot was in the nighttime. This was dusk time. I watch stuff like that. People hate to watch movies with me, but that's how I am every day. I might be going down the street and be like, this will be a good shot. I'm gonna try this tomorrow when I get to practice. And that's why you see me, most times we talk the most at practice because you more than you on the sidelines just as much as I'm on the sideline. Right. But sometimes I actually walk the field.
Right, and I have seen you numerous times going around doing God knows what.
I put it in my head like, okay, I'm gonna do this shot like this. I like the way this look, and I actually walk the field and that's gonna look good. This will look good. XYZ, XYZ. Yeah, that's what I do on a daily. It don't stop.
I really appreciate that and respect it as a craft because I think a lot of times people can miss the actual art that is film, because they're focusing on what's happening in the video. And so they'll forget that you're missing the beauty of this shot, and all these different angles. I don't think people realize, I've seen you lay down in the end zone.
I did it multiple times.
I thought you passed out back there. I was like, oh man, is he good? And to me, I think that's amazing.
Yeah, people, nobody saw that shot. I saw that shot. Yeah. I saw that practice. I'm gonna lay down in the hole and record this video. Beautiful video.
And that is crazy. So I definitely commend you and the team just for the new heights that you guys have been reaching over the years. And I can't wait to see the look in 25 years and be like, man, I can only imagine the kind of stuff you'll be doing then.
I could only imagine too, man. That'll be wild. That'll be wild. Shout out to the team, man. I have a great group of individuals. Man, shout out to them because I've become, I say all the time, I've become now more of a teacher than a doer. If you see me now, I'm more of the manager instead of being hands-on because I want to teach them how to do this without me. And man, they knocked it out the park. They completely knocked it out the park. And I'm glad to see the growth in individuals that I've had for 5-6 years, like Chris. Chris fell out the sky, really. Chris real life fell out the sky. My boy was like, hey, my boy want to take pictures. I was like, hey, come take pictures, And to see where Chris was in 16 to where Chris is today, amazing. It is amazing. So I like that part of it, seeing the journey from then to now to where they're going. And I have a group that's still gonna be here that's gonna knock it out the park. You yourself, Lauren talks to you a lot. Oh yeah. I give Lauren the most praise in life because I see the potential that she has. And I'm gonna make sure she reaches that potential. For sure. Her next 3 years on this media team, Lauren is gonna reach and probably exceed her potential. I see that in her, and I can't wait to see where she ends up. her senior year. Like that's
a beautiful thing. That'll be your product.
it's exciting. Like to me, that's real life exciting. Like I tell Perry all the time, like, man, I can't wait. Like, come on, I can't wait. And I always say, you know, no knock to anybody else on the team. Like, no knock. If I can find 3 other people like her, it's over with for everybody. It's over with for everybody. It's over with for everybody. But yeah, shout out to the team, man. I get the praise, I get the heat. Right. Just like Mr. Taylor, you know. He get the praise and he get the heat. I'm the same way. But if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have what we have now. Right. So shout out to them.
Definitely. And while we, you know, giving people their praise and their shout outs and stuff, I got to give you a shout out, because what a lot of people don't know is that there are a lot of times where I'll come and I'll be like, hey, gee, how does this look? Does this look good? You think this will work on the field? Or I'm trying to do something crazy. What if I face this direction, then face this direction? And, you know, and that's huge for me, because being that I don't really have a team, you know, you've kind of stepped in, and Mr. Taylor has stepped in, and a few other people that I trust, you know, in that inner circle to help me do what I do, you know, at the highest level. So I definitely want to thank you for that as well.
That's what I'm here for, man. Yeah, they don't. That's what I'm here for, though. You know, I'm here every day. Right. I see what's going on. You know, I have an eye for a certain thing, so you know, I put my input in, and I'm grateful that Mr. Taylor lets me do that. Beast, can I do this? And yeah, you can do it. You know, and this past year, they actually let me in on some stuff. You know, helping with field shows. What you think? How you think this will look? X, Y, Z. You know, so I'm grateful for him for allowing me to help you and the entire program.
I think that's really big too, because being somebody who is in the film industry and photography and all that, you can see things that the average person can't. Like you were saying, you driving and you might be like, oh, this would look really good. So, you know, you can add a whole new element to whatever we're doing on the field, and it's just so much more that goes into what this program does than people see.